Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're diving into something that's almost, well, gospel in modern life, isn't it? This idea of work-life balance.
Mm-hmm. It's the ideal everyone seems to be chasing.
Exactly. It sounds perfect, right? That perfect equilibrium between your job and your life outside it. But, and this is where the sources we looked at get really interesting. What if chasing that balance, maybe chasing it too soon, actually stops you from getting something much bigger?
Something like real, lasting freedom.
Precisely. Lasting financial freedom, the kind that then gives you genuine control over your own time. Think about it. Maybe you feel perpetually caught,
Yeah.
always working, trying hard, but just not quite breaking free into something more. So our deep dive today explores this pretty bold counter idea from the sources, this concept of sacrifice now for lasting financial freedom.
It turns the usual advice on its head.
It really does.
Yeah.
They suggest that grabbing on to that early comfort, that maybe premature sense of balance,
Yeah.
can actually keep you stuck, hindering the path to real financial independence and ultimately controlling your own time. So our mission here is to really unpack why this period of, let's call it, strategic temporary sacrifice might be the absolute foundation, not just for wealth, but for really taking charge of your schedule and living life, on your own terms.
Yeah, it's a fascinating flip, isn't it? Because what's so compelling is how the sources argue that chasing work-life balance too soon can be a mistake. We're sort of taught culturally to find that balance right away, maybe dial back when things get intense.
Don't burn out.
Exactly. But the material we reviewed makes it pretty clear that this early search for comfort often keeps people, well, stuck. They're working just enough to cover bills, but never enough to build real financial freedom. Think about that feeling. Maybe you've felt it, like being on a treadmill. You're putting in a lot of energy, you're definitely moving, but the view isn't changing much. You're not actually getting ahead in a way that fundamentally changes things.
That feeling of stagnation.
Precisely. That feeling of stagnation, even though you're working hard, that's the trap of premature comfort the sources are really warning about. It's almost a psychological thing where wanting ease now stops you building leverage for later.
That is such a critical point. It's so easy to fall into that, where you feel like you're putting in the hours, but the needle on the big goals,
Yeah.
it's just not moving. But these sources, they offer such a strong counter-narrative, a real wake-up call, kind of challenges those initial assumptions. The truth, they argue, isn't finding balance right at the start of your journey. It's about strategic sacrifice. And this isn't just some theory they cooked up. They point to some powerful examples that really hammer this home.
Like, who are they mentioning?
Well, think about people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or John Cena, maybe Elon Musk. Did these guys sort of ease their way up, balancing their early careers with tons of free time?
I highly doubt it.
Absolutely not. Our research really highlights that these individuals went all in. They put in extreme, almost, obsessive effort for a big chunk of time. Sleeping in offices, grueling hours, massive physical challenges for some.
Right, the stories are legendary.
They are. And only later, after building that intense, solid foundation, did they really get the freedom to control their time and live how they wanted. The key insight here, for you listening, is that this extreme effort isn't supposed to be forever. It's just for now.
A specific phase.
Exactly. A concentrated period just to build a foundation that allows for real, sustainable freedom down the road. It's like front-loading the hard work to unlock a lifetime of choices later on.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, the sources do point out that whether it's building wealth, getting fit, or growing relationships, the hard work lays the foundation for long-term success. It seems to be a pretty universal principle for achieving anything significant, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Discipline, grit.
Discipline, grit, delaying gratification, these are like muscles. They get stronger with use, and they help in all parts of your life. And this is the crucial difference the sources really want us to grasp, especially for wealth building, unlike fitness, where you always have to maintain the effort.
Oh, right. You can't just work out for 10 years and stop.
Exactly. You can't expect to stay fit forever without continuous work. But wealth can be built to work for you. That's a huge distinction. It means the initial effort might be incredibly intense, yes, but the type of work needed later can totally change.
So what does that look like practically?
Well, let's break it down. Smart investments, maybe in things like income-generating real estate or dividend-paying stocks, maybe established businesses. These can create what's often called passive income.
Which isn't really passive in the beginning.
No, not always in the setup, but it means income that requires minimal, ongoing, active effort from you to keep it going. Your money starts making more money. This reduces your personal need to constantly trade your time for income.
Correct.
And that fundamentally shifts the whole game. You move from trading your limited time for dollars to having your assets generate income more independently. And that is the ultimate path to controlling your time.
That distinction, active versus passive income generation, that's absolutely central to this, isn't it? And it often gets kind of glossed over. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting and quite specific. The sources talk about why the decade of sacrifice matters.
Okay, a specific time frame.
Yeah, this isn't just vague work hard advice. It's about a concentrated, focused period with a very clear financial aim. They lay out a pretty clear path. If you want to escape that paycheck-to-paycheck life, which, let's face it, many people are in,
Very common.
you need to either spend significantly less, earn significantly more, or, ideally, really push hard on both at the same time. And they propose this powerful timeline, a focused 10 years. 10 years of working really hard, saving like crazy, and making smart strategic investments. They argue that can genuinely set you up for life.
10 years.
Think about that, putting in one intense decade, usually when you're in your prime earning years, to potentially unlock, 50 or 60 years of financial freedom and real choice later. It sounds like a massive commitment, and it is, but the potential reward they're describing is, well, it's profound.
It's like building an engine, isn't it? Something that keeps running long after you ease off the gas.
Exactly,
Yeah.
building that engine.
It's definitely an investment in your future self, which raises the big question.
Oh.
Okay, what does all this dedicated effort actually lead to? What's the prize?
Right.
And the sources are crystal clear on this. Once you reach financial freedom, everything changes. You decide when to work, when to rest, and live on your own terms. That's the real work-life balance they're talking about.
So it comes after the effort.
Exactly. It's a balance earned through that intentional, focused work, not something you just get prematurely or chase as some comfy ideal too early on. It means having the power, the agency to make choices without money worries dictating everything.
Like taking a sabbatical or pursuing a passion.
Sure. Or spending more time with family, or just choosing to work less because your assets are covering your life. But, and this is the crucial warning the sources keep hitting, if you chase that comfort too soon, you risk staying stuck.
Stuck in that cycle.
Stuck needing to work just to pay the bills, never building the leverage or the asset base you need to actually break free. It really boils down to delaying gratification now for a much, much bigger and longer-lasting reward later.
Okay, so what does this actually mean for you, listening right now, maybe grappling with these ideas? The solution, according to these sources, is basically play the long game, but with real strategic intensity.
Not just hoping for the best.
No magical thinking here. It's about practical, concrete steps that, if you apply them consistently over that focus time, can lead to dramatic results. They advise you to consistently, thoughtfully invest in assets that generate income, things that put money into your pocket, not take it out.
Like what specifically?
Could be anything, really, depending on your situation. Broad market index funds, maybe, giving you a piece of major companies' growth. Or income-producing real estate, like rental properties. Even building a small business that could eventually run without you being there 24/7. They also really push on cutting unnecessary expenses. Now, this isn't about being miserable, it's about being intentional. Are there subscriptions you don't even use? Eating out habits you could maybe scale back a bit. The combined effect of small, consistent cuts can be huge.
Frees up capital for investing.
Exactly. Frees up capital to fuel those investments. And, crucially, find ways to actively boost your earnings. Maybe negotiate a raise, learn some new valuable skills, take on a side hustle that pays well, or even start your own thing.
It's a multi-pronged attack, really.
It is. It's designed to speed up that journey to financial independence. And they kind of wrap this part up with a motivating mantra, something that really sticks. Hustle now so that real work-life balance isn't just a dream. It's your reality. It's about actively building that future, brick by intentional brick, not just waiting for it to happen.
And it's not just about what you do, is it? It's the mindset you bring to it during that focus period. The discipline, the resilience you build up during a decade of sacrifice. Those are incredibly valuable.
Rate transfer, right.
Absolutely. They transfer to everything else, staying healthy, maintaining relationships, learning new things. The sources highlight that the consistent effort, the problem solving, the ability to wait for the reward, these are character traits that fuel success way beyond just your bank balance. And It's important we acknowledge the context here. The sources don't pretend this is happening in a vacuum. They actually stress the importance of the current economic climate.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There is. There's so much noise out there right now. Conflicting headlines about inflation, jobs, market ups and downs, and everybody seems to have an opinion on what you should do with your money or your career.
Makes your head spin sometimes.
It really can. And that's why having a clear long-term strategy, like the one we've been discussing, becomes even more vital. When things feel uncertain, it's so easy to get pulled off course by short-term worries or the latest hot tip. But if you have that foundational understanding of how to build sustainable freedom, you can filter out a lot of that noise. You stay focused on what actually matters for your long-term goals.
Like seeing downturns as opportunities, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. During market dips, someone with a strong foundation might see a chance to buy assets cheaper, speeding up their journey while others are just panicking. It lets you be proactive instead of reactive, making deliberate moves instead of feeling like you're just reacting to whatever the world throws at you.
So it builds resilience, too.
Definitely. This strategic intensity isn't just about piling up money. It's about building this really solid foundation of financial resilience and personal agency, something that can handle the inevitable storms.
Wow. Okay, what a deep dive today. We've really challenged that standard idea of chasing early work-life balance. Not because balance itself is bad, of course not, but because the sources we looked at suggest that strategically sacrificing some immediate comfort now, well, that might be the essential first step to really achieving it later, and achieving it completely on your own terms.
Earned freedom.
Earned freedom. It's not about this endless soul-crushing grind forever. It's about a focused period, maybe that decade of sacrifice, just to build an asset, an engine that works for you, that frees up your most valuable thing, your time.
Moving from wage earner to owner.
Exactly. From being an employee of your time to being the master of your time. This isn't just finance. It feels like a pretty profound shift in how you approach your whole life, offering a path to genuine autonomy.
So, considering everything we've sort of unpacked today, especially that idea of front-loading the effort for future freedom, maybe here's a question for you, listening right now. What small but focused sacrifice could you realistically commit to starting, say, this week? Not forever, just for now. Something that directly lines up with building that foundation for your future freedom.
That's a great takeaway question.
Is it maybe cutting one daily expense you barely notice anyway? Or dedicating just one extra hour this week to learning a skill that could boost your income? Or maybe even simpler, just sitting down and making a real concrete plan for your next month of focused effort. What's one small step?
Exactly. Amidst all the noise we talked about, maybe just reflect on how this perspective could shift your approach, your goals, your daily choices. Perhaps taking this deep dive into your own situation with these ideas in mind might spark some really significant insights, might light up a new path forward. Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and yeah, most importantly, keep building your future.